Hi, my name is Ian Hockley. I'm the Executive Director of Dillon's Winds of Change. I'm here at New Jersey School Board's annual workshop convention, and I'm here with Ray Pinney. And on Monday, Ray and I got to give a very favorite presentation that Ray created and I get to be part of. Ray, tell us about this amazing presentation.
Well, it all started with an epic journey. I went to Ian and called him. I said, I have an idea. I want to run the length of New Jersey from High Point to Cape May, and I need you to be part of it because I needed a team. And so we did it. And it wasn't just Ian and I. Ian actually only ran a little bit. He drove from High Point to Cape May, so I give him credit for that. But we created a team, we learned a lot. It wasn't. I said at our presentation, the person who started at High Point wasn't the same person who hit Cape May. And so
what gave you the inspiration to run 200 miles?
Well, I had actually watched a documentary on YouTube and about people who attempted to do it, and I said, I think I can do that. And believe me, at that point, I had never run more than 50 miles, but I thought I could do it. And I said, there was also, I was 62 at the time. I took the word later out of my dictionary. I don't use the word later anymore because if I'm going to do something, I do it now. Because I also had COVID and I didn't think I'd ever be able to run again. So my goal was to run an ultra marathon and then run the length of New Jersey and push myself to my limits. I wanted to push myself to the limits. But I found out a lot more because I needed you and a team of people to do it. And so that was my goal, to prove A, that I could do it, and B, that, people look at age as a detriment, and I feel better about my life. I don't think I could have done this at 20, but I could do it at 62.
Interesting. So we did this event, and it could have just been a running event, but when you reflected on that experience, you then realized that there were these lessons in leadership that it had taught you and how you could apply it to both life, but also especially to our board members.
Yeah, I all of a sudden saw that it was tied completely to what I do, 9 to 5 I work more than 9 to 5, but it was tied to my job. And I'll go over just a few of them. One, you have to have a goal and you have to push yourself. Like all our greatest achievements that you think of were because they weren't easy. So we have to try hard things. The other thing is I had to have a plan. I had to really think this through. I had to call you. I had to assemble a team. I had to build a team to do this. And I learned a lot about goal setting and also how to build that team because we didn't know each other. We had like 4 of us who were there the whole time and we didn't really know each other. The person I ran with, Anthony, I didn't know. I met him one time before that. So that was just like an amazing thing. Then the other thing is that help comes from people all over. And I'll tell the story of my friend Dave. I guess I had run over 100 miles. I was at 3:30 in the morning, and I'm in Burlington County on Route 206. There's nobody on the road. And all of a sudden a car pulls off to the side of the road, and this guy jumps out and goes, Ray, can I run with you? And I'm like, who do I know in Burlington County who wants to run with me at 3:30 in the morning? Frankly, I didn't know anyone anywhere who would want to run with me at 3:30 in the morning. And it was my friend Dave. Well, I'd only met Dave one other time. He had done a race with me, and he was just following us on social media and said, I have to be there. And the funny thing is, he lives up by me in North Jersey, so he drove 2 hours to run, and he stayed with us the whole time after that. And now, actually, we're very good friends. We do a lot more than just that one race. So I found that help can come from a lot of different places. And I probably should back up. Well, I'll get to it later, though. And then finally, I think the biggest lesson I learned, 2 biggest lessons, was the power of kindness. And I emphasize this in our presentation. Every time someone came and gave me support, it really touched my heart. I'm so emotional about that now. But the people that came, like Dave, because I was kind to them at one point in their life, and they returned the kindness months later. And like even Anthony, who joined me, was because I was kind to one of his friends, and it came back. So the power of kindness, and in this world where there's a lot of vitriol and hatred, I said, and this is, I believe, is that kindness is the antidote to hatred, not love. It's kindness, because it's hard to be mean to someone who's kind to you all the time. So, and I know that maybe my superpower or weakness is I'm too nice.
Yep.
And finally, the butterfly effect, because I didn't realize, but a year later, these things started coming back, that the run ended, but the effect, a friend of mine in my neighborhood, Dan, came up to me and said, "You inspired me to run a marathon." And I didn't know Dan. It was so. Now he's running a marathon for Dylan's Wings of Change. And so that was nothing that I planned or anything like that. So it was like a transformation for me, like a butterfly.
Absolutely. The ripples just spread out from that. What would you say, or tell us the story of one of the really big obstacles? There were many adversities we had to deal with as a team, but tell us about the one with the swamp.
Oh, yeah. I guess I don't know. We were in Atlantic County, and Dave was with us at that time, and he was navigating with his cell phone, and it was on a dirt road, and we got over 2 miles, and we come to the end, and there's the dirt road ends, and there's a junkyard with signs that say "Do not enter." 7 of them, I counted, and I'm like, oh boy, there's got to be a guy with a gun and a dog out there, and we're looking for the road, and this guy comes out, Isaiah. And Isaiah comes out kind of radical, and he has an eye patch on. I'm like, oh boy. And then Isaiah says, "GPS don't work around here." Now Dave doesn't believe him. He goes, "Are you sure there's not a road behind your junkyard?" I'm like looking at Dave, and he let us go through his junkyard, which was tripping in and of itself. But there was no road. It was all swamp. And you got a phone call saying, "Get Ray out of there because there's no road." We thought there was a road, a couple hundred yards on the other side. There's no road. These are all paper roads. So Isaiah, and I didn't mention this before, but Isaiah then said, I'll give you guys a ride back to the main road. And he didn't know us. We were trespassing, and it was a great act of kindness. And one of the things I also tell people there is I believe in angels. I don't mean celestial beings, I mean human angels, people who just come into my life and help me.
Yep. We saw that so many times. On the 60 hours, we left High Point Friday at noon, and then for 60 solid hours with maybe 1 or 2 hours sleep, you pushed through and reached Cape May on the Monday morning, 6 a.m.
And I'll tell you the story of the last angel. So I was trying to think what I was going to say to you and to my team after that 60-something hours. I'm like, how do I say thank you to everyone? And the word epic kept coming into my mind. And I'm thinking, how am I going to do that? And then I see this woman calling my name it was about 4 o'clock in the morning at that point. And she said, Ray. I have no idea who her name was, Catherine. And she said, "I just heard of what you're doing, and I think it's so nice." And I started crying. And so I just hugged her. And then at the end, I said, "This was an epic journey." And it really did change me. For the better, I think. Someone may argue with that, but and I also raised funds for you.
Yes.
And I still remember, and I told people the power of social media. As we were going down with this trip, you'd be like, "Oh, we got a donation. Do you know who this person is?" And we made friends.
Yeah, that kindness of other people there. Just to close out, just reflect on, that we're all on an epic journey in some way, and how that especially relates to the people you work with day to day, those school board members who are out there.
I gave 4 criteria to an epic journey. I gave one, it can't be easy. It has to challenge you. It has to bring people together. It has to be for a good cause. I did it for your charity, and I think I did bring people together. And it has to inspire a few people, which it did. Those 4 things, that's public education. Being a board member, being a principal, being a superintendent, it's not easy. But it's difficult, but it's for a noble cause. And if you're doing it right, you're bringing people together. And if you're doing it right, you're inspiring people. And I'll add 1/5 thing that I didn't think of. It's the butterfly effect of education. You may not see what happens to the student if you're a 2nd grade teacher, but you were part of their life.
Absolutely. Well, Ray, I want to thank you for taking me on your epic journey and changing my life as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.